Alright, so this is going to be a yin video, so that just means we're going to hold the poses for a much longer time, and it's going to be focused on the inner thighs. So it'll be a short video that you can do at any time. The nice thing about yin is you don't necessarily have to be warmed up. You can include this at the end of your practice as part of your cool down, or you can include it as a standalone video if you're really working on opening up the inner thighs. Because you're not going to go to your full stretch capacity. You're not going to go 100% deep into the pose. You'll probably stay back more like 75%, maybe 50%. So you're going to want some props to help support you. Maybe a block, books, blankets, towels, any of those things will work, especially if you know you're pretty tight in the inner thighs. The more props, the better. Keep them nearby. The first two poses are not really traditional yin poses, so we're not going to hold them for as long. We're only going to hold them for about maybe 2 minutes, and then the other poses at the end will hold for more 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so the first one we're going to start with today is frog. So if you need some padding for your knees, roll up the edges of your mat or put the towel or a blanket underneath your knees. Take your knees, start to slide them apart. Again, maybe not 100% deepest version you would normally do. Gently flex the feet and then look back. Make sure your ankle bone is in line with the knees, hip in line with the knees. So you have that nice 90-degree angle, and then come down to your forearms. Okay, you can hold yourself here. If you want to use your props, you can put a prop under the forehead, blankets under your stomach if you want, anything to support you that's going to feel good so that you can hold this the whole time without fidgeting. So we're starting for about 2 minutes now. And when we hold these yin poses, you just want to find places where you can relax. So instead of tensing up and fidgeting and moving around, just stay where you are, but see if you can relax a little bit more, the inner thighs, the shoulders, the neck, and almost feel like you're being somewhat lazy in the pose, like you're just kind of hanging in the pose, so that as you hold it longer and longer, your flexibility will start to increase, and you'll let the muscles and the tissues relax to let them get longer and increase that flexibility. So you have about another minute here in frog. Just about 30 more seconds in this pose. Now gently just come up, remove your props first, move them off to the side, press up to your hands, and very slowly start to slide those knees in. Maybe just shake out your legs a little bit. The next one's going to be a little bit more intense, it's more active, and you're going to have to hold yourself up in it, but then after that we'll go into the more restorative yin type poses. So we're going to do standing straddle, not seated straddle yet. So I want you to take your feet out wide, but keep the feet turned in, all 10 toes pointing towards the side of your mat, so they're parallel. So you might be up here and you might need to hold yourself up. You might be able to grab a block and put your elbows on the block. Or if you can go a little wider, you can also take your forearms to the floor. But remember, we're going to be holding it for 2 minutes. So if you feel like you can't hold this version for 2 minutes, come up a little higher, bring the feet together, or use your block underneath your forearms to help support you. And just make sure you keep those feet turned in. So again, it's more active. You're not going to be able to relax as much into this pose, but try to stay there even though it's a little bit more challenging so that you can work even deeper into those inner thighs. This will be the most active out of all of the poses. See if you can just let your head drop here. You can just kind of let it hang. You don't need to support the head or hold it up. Just let your neck relax. You have about 30 more seconds in this standing straddle. very slowly start to press up to your hands, remove any props you have, and just gently toe heel those feet together. And then bend your knees and just kind of swing it a little side to side, shake out your legs, shake them loose, whatever you need, and then make your way into a comfortable seated position. So now we'll do the seated version of that same pose. It'll feel a little easier because you don't have to hold yourself up. Slide those legs apart, maybe even lift the hips up, get them apart. And in this one, you can just let your feet relax. So they're not pointed, they're not flexed, they're nice and relaxed. And then as you fold forward, again, don't worry about keeping the back flat. You can let it round and use as many props as you need. So as high up as you need so that you can support yourself and place your forehead on something. Make sure that you're going, again, maybe 50%, 75% of where you would normally go. So even if you can normally just go flat to the floor, stay up slightly higher and use that block under the forehead, because we're going to hold this one for the full 4 minutes. So we've already started, but find that comfortable place and then just relax and try not to fidget and just stay there, relax the feet and open up the inner thighs. You have about 1.5 minutes, so 1.5 minutes left here, just to relax a little bit deeper into this pose. Gently start to press your way up, press into your hands, remove any props you had off to the side, and then grab behind your legs and slowly bring your feet into Baddha Konasana, butterfly. So don't pull it in as tight as you normally would, maybe keep it a few inches further out. And as far as props, things can go under your knees if you want to support you, a block, you can roll up a blanket, pillow, or also under the forehead when you fold if you want. Okay, so use any props that help support you. Find that Baddha Konasana and then fold forward and drop your head. And again, we're going to hold it for 4 minutes. So just relax into it. find a good position and then just stay still once you find that position. And don't worry about your back being flat or straight here. Again, we just let it round in these yin poses. We're not using any muscles to hold us up. Relax your head and just drop your head. We have about 1.5 minutes left in Baddha Konasana, seated butterfly. Just your last couple moments here in Baddha Konasana, relax a little further into the inner thighs. Nice and slow, walk your way up, remove any props that you had. Close your knees like a book. The last pose we're going to end with is the same thing, but on our back. Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together. Again, you can support the knees if you'd like with any props. Arms just out to the side. Close the eyes and then stay here as long as you'd like. Think of this as like your Shavasana. And whenever you're ready to go back into your day, gently roll over to one side to press yourself up into a comfortable seated position.